Prosecutor Sami, I'm hearing that you're filing motions against me. You have an allegation against me that I went and found a lawyer, put her a second chair, only to take all the evidence off of evidence.com, and now I have all these files that you put under seal from Judge Weimer. So you're crying to Judge Weimer. You're like, Judge, he stole all the evidence. He has all the evidence. He found him a random lawyer. He put her a second chair on his brother's criminal case. And only for him to go and get all the evidence that's under seal. I mean, we know that you're sealing all this evidence because your investigator lied. They've been profiling my brother, and I'm showing this community what your investigators are doing to my brother. Is this about a vehicle accident, or have you been profiling my brother? So you're making all these allegations. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't give a fuck what you say, what motions you're filing. And last time I checked, I'm a third party. I never signed an NDA. I never signed any protective order. I didn't sign anything. As far as anybody's concerned, I'm third party. I'm simply exercising my First Amendment, and I'm telling this community what they're doing to my brother. I mean, I've read up on your motions. The worst you can do, because I'm third party, you can't do anything to me. Obviously, you can't do anything to me. Even the judge is going to tell you, lady, what are you doing? You can't do anything to him. He's a third party. He didn't sign anything. He's not on a protective order. The worst we can do is sanction his brother and put his brother in a hole, solitary confinement. Well, I've got news, lady, for you. I've got news for you, lady. My brother has been in a hole in solitary confinement for the past 2 years. So I'm going to tell you, your motion, take that motion and stick it up somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. Prosecutor, we're getting coffee. We've got really good coffee here. We've got French vanilla. It's good coffee. Prosecutor, let's talk. On multiple occasions in the body cams of your investigators, Investigator Robert Drum, Investigator Davis, when they're talking to witnesses, they say, we got to get our ducks in a row before we pull the trigger on Mustafa. Well, prosecutor, I'm getting my ducks in a row before I pull the trigger on your county. I've got all the body cams, and I'm releasing one body cam at a time. This community is going to find out who your witnesses are and what your witnesses are saying about Mustafa. And if they really do know Mustafa when they're testifying against Mustafa, if that makes any kind of sense. Now, to have a witness, you got to be there. You got to know Mustafa. What if I tell you that your investigators are using witnesses that have never met Mustafa, that don't know Mustafa? Prosecutor, your witnesses, the witnesses that you're using, have never met Mustafa and don't know who Mustafa is. Investigator Davis, I know, I did give you 24 hours, and I said I was going to release your body cam, but to release your body cam, I have to put everything in context. I have to release certain material so the community can understand and ask the right questions when they're watching your body cam with Glenn Ford. Now that we've addressed this situation, back to you, prosecutor. Prosecutor, the next body cam that's going to be released is a conversation inside the police department between Investigator Romero and Investigator Mole. And they're both having a conversation with Derek, Dorothy's brother. And they're asking him multiple questions about Mustafa. They're asking him, who's going to take the kids? Who can we give the kids to? Can we give the kids to you, sir? And he's like, I don't want the fucking kids. I don't want them. The brother is saying, I don't want the kids. That's really sad. Derek, it's really sad. In the meantime, the kids are left at Nini's house, who's Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend's girlfriend. Nini is the neighbor. They're left with Glenn Ford, who happens to be in a relationship with Nini, the neighbor. The kids are left, Dorothy's kids are left with Glenn Ford, with Nini, and they're sitting there coaching the kids, telling the kids the reason that your mom is not here is because Mustafa killed her. They're telling the kids, these are kids that are 8, 9, 10, and 14. And then you've got someone like Glenn Ford and someone like Nini telling them Mustafa killed your mom. They're coaching the kids. They're coaching the kids. I've got home videos that shows Mustafa loves his family. And all of a sudden, you've got kids that don't know what happened to their mom. And you've got someone like Glenn Ford and Nini, the neighbor, telling them Mustafa did it. He did it on purpose. And they go to the police and they tell the police the same thing. And then when you find out who Glenn Ford is, you find out that he's a jealous boyfriend that had threatened to kill Divine Jones, the ex-husband. Mustafa has been watching Mustafa, is not happy that Dorothy moved on with her life. He kicked her out. He used to beat up the kids. He kicked her out. Is not happy that she moved forward. She found someone that loves her. Is not happy. And he's been watching Mustafa. Mustafa doesn't even know him. And I'm going to release a video that shows Mustafa doesn't even know him. As a matter of fact, Glenn Ford says Mustafa doesn't even know him. Now in that phone call, in the audio that I'm releasing, you're going to hear Investigator Romero, Investigator Mole in the police station talking to the brother of Dorothy. And they're having a conversation with him. And then the ex-husband happened to call Investigator Mole. And he's telling him about Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, and how he used to beat up Dorothy, beat up the kids, threatened to kill him. And I find it really sad that the police officer are condescending to Divine Jones, the ex-husband that they're talking to on the phone. They don't want to give him the kids. They're like, sir, you have a warrant, you have blah, 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 blah. We're not giving you the fucking kids. And they're begging the brother to take the kids. The brother's like, I don't want the fucking kids. Okay. And the brother is telling the police, I have no idea who Moses is. I've never met Moses. You keep asking me questions about Moses. I've never met that guy. Okay? And he's telling them all these negative things about the ex-husband. What else? What else? Let's see, what else? What else? I think it's really important that this community finds out who is who when we're looking at what happened. I think it's fair. As a community, I think we should get to know who is who's testifying against Mustafa, who's saying what against Mustafa. I mean, the police department clearly is targeting Mustafa. There's body cams that the police officer are talking about. They've been watching Mustafa way before the accident because he sued the police. He has an active lawsuit against the police and they're targeting Mustafa. Okay? And I've got body cams to prove it. It's not my word against the police department's words. I've got body cams. I mean, within 30 minutes, you've got police officer fines saying, knowing him, he's probably drug related. He's on drugs. That he's drugged out. What do you mean? What do you mean knowing him? He's probably drugged out. Mustafa is laying on the ground and then out of consciousness. He's on the ground and he's dying right in front of you. And you're looking at this tragic accident and you go to Investigator Drum and you tell him knowing him and you're laughing. And you're saying knowing him, he's probably drugged out. Mustafa was never convicted of drugs. Never. Does not have a criminal background, never convicted of drugs. But you want to say knowing him is drug related because you've been targeting my brother, you've been profiling my brother, and now that it's a tragic vehicle accident, you think you can take advantage of my brother while he's in a coma. Literally, right in front of his vehicle in the street in a coma. One of the witnesses is an off-duty paramedic for Quantico, says Mustafa thinks he's in 2022. Obama is the president. Investigator Jerome turns around to right after he's got done talking to this off-duty paramedic, turns around to his police officer and tells him Mustafa is on drugs. What are you doing? Your police officer tells you Mustafa's drugged out. They've been watching Mustafa. He said, I dispatched Officer Duplessis that's been watching Mustafa. He's been watching Mustafa before the accident. He knows within 30 minutes, they know Mustafa's name, they know Dorothy's name, they know the kid, they've been watching my brother, clearly. Stand by for this audio so the community gets to know what's really happening here.